Hello, everyone. I am Hope Owens.
And I'm Betsy Linnell.
So this is our first week here doing these videos. And so today we're going to talk about this book that we've all purchased called Side by Side. And so specifically, we're going to be talking about the introduction through chapter 3.
It is such great content. It was encouraging that the neediness I so often hide from everybody is actually relatively normal. And yet, at the same time, I was a little convicted because I realized how hard it is for me to ask for help from you, from others, especially if it's beyond that surface level of things that are practical. Okay, who am I kidding? You know, I can't even ask for help with the surface stuff. I do not like to look needy.
You know, none of us like to look needy. I remember when I experienced my stroke, I had to depend on my daughter, Tiana. And that was really difficult. That was really hard. You know, she would have to drive me to the grocery store. She would have to drive me to my doctor's appointments. She even would have to answer my text messages. And so that was really hard. It was really hard to not be able to communicate what I needed, but having to depend on her for the things that I needed.
Right now, my neediness is just being a single mom in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, I was a lot more comfortable being the therapist people came to ask for opinions about their children.
Right.
Admitting that sometimes I have no clue how to discipline her or correct her, oh, that's hard. You know, it makes me realize that sometimes, even as that therapist, I relied on my strength and not on the Lord's. And I really want to go back to Him. I know part of this study helps us open up to others, but I'm kind of hesitant. I'm afraid that if I'm honest about what I'm struggling with, I'll sound like I'm complaining.
You know, the first thing we have to acknowledge is that life is difficult. And I don't think that's complaining. I think that's reality. I think we have to be careful, you know, who we talk to about that reality. But listen, Betsy, I really struggle, and I'm just as guilty when it comes to having to open up to other people. But I'm learning that crying out to the Lord helps me to cry out to others too.
That makes sense. Sometimes even sharing with you helps me cry out to the Lord. It reminds me of what we learned in that grief recovery classes we went to about lament, that we just have to be able to experience the sadness. David did that. He would, in the Psalms, cry out to the Lord and then move forward. And I show my class Inside Out. And in there, sadness has to come before joy can do her job. And I think sometimes it's just hard for me to let myself feel the sadness.
Well, girl, our hearts are a mess. Let me say that again. Our hearts are a mess. They guide our thoughts, they guide our actions, especially when we go through life circumstances, difficult life circumstances. So those thoughts and those actions, they can be healthy, but they also can be bad and unhealthy. And so our thoughts and our actions, they say more about us than our circumstances.
When I am in trouble or in hard circumstances, what comes out is the true me. Pretty or not, it's gonna come out. The scary part of that is that I know there is nothing good in me that is not Jesus. I am so quick to blame circumstances or other people instead of owning my own sins.
I'm quick to blame other people too. You know, I really don't like it when people are not kind to me. I don't like it at all.
No, you don't.
It makes it very difficult to be kind to them. But I know that even though I find it difficult, that God continues to work with me to be kind to others, even when they are unkind to me.
We're both learning. We're learning about this whole thing of being needy and needed. And so, whether we're needy or needed, we really can choose to walk side by side, learning to be kind.